Tonight's headlines are brought to you in part by Coldwell Energy and McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. The impeachment trial continued this morning with only 4 senators and the defense. Also tonight, a local woman is arrested for child abuse. And police dogs now have a new home up on Capitol Hill. In sports, the soccer field was filled with players and excited family members. Stay with us, these stories and more are next.
I have a phone. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on phone. I have a tablet. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on tab. I have a TV. I have a stick. Ooh, TV on stick. I want my streaming. I want my TV. Ooh, streaming TV.
Northern Marianas, rise up to the challenge! June 17th through June 25th, the Northern Marianas will be hosting the NM Pacific Mini Games 2022. Athletics, badminton, baseball, beach volleyball, golf, tennis, triathlon, ba'a, and weightlifting. Visit northernmarianas2022.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you to our sponsors, Joten Dadai Foundation, T Galleria, Tansu Lin Foundation, Elin Group, Northern Marianas College, IT&E, MarPac, Docomo Pacific, McDonald's of Saipan, Mobile Out Micronesia, Bank of Guam, Triple J, and more.
And there you have it, McDonald's new crispy chicken sandwich. From the makers of the world's most stolen fries. The juicy chicken sandwich from the place that offers extra napkins for a reason. The tender chicken sandwich from the creators of a sandwich phenomenon. So you won't just be biting into a chicken sandwich, you'll be biting into McDonald's new crispy, juicy, tender chicken sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hafaday, Titawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Monday, May 16, 2022. Topping tonight's newscast, Day 2 of the governor's impeachment trial began with 3 senators removing themselves from the midst of the proceedings. Instead, the 3 senators met with members of the House of Representatives to hear their side of the story. It's not really a trial. There are no prosecutors, not much evidence, no cross-examination, just statements, and now there are less people hearing those. Senators Paul Manglonia, Edith Delon Guerrero, and Teresita Santos have recused themselves from participating in the ongoing Senate impeachment trial for Governor Ralph Torres. According to the Senate minority, they are waiting for the CNMI Superior Court to rule on their pending lawsuit against the Senate Republican majority. The lawsuit is asking the court to order a TRO that will not only stop the current hearing, but allow a House prosecutor and records for another modified hearing.
This is a very difficult task for all of us, especially as minority members, if we want to conduct a fair, just, and impartial trial, because 1, there's no prosecutor to cross-examine the witnesses, and 2, the Senate twice rejected the House impeachment records.
Manglonia in a letter states that their request was denied. The three senators met with House members an hour before the trial commenced, giving them a platform to present their case against Governor Ralph Torres.
As to the statements of Mr. Epifanio Cabrera Jr., his statements should be stricken from the record in its entirety, as it is purely speculative. Mr. Cabrera admits that after the draft travel regulations their task force submitted to the Secretary of Finance, he never heard back from the Department of Finance whether the draft was subsequently adopted. When pressed further, he admitted that he doesn't know the status and whether it was eventually codified.
If we had been given the opportunity, we would have presented this evidence the JGO collected to show how this governor used his position to permanently deprive the CNMI of its meager local resources for his personal and political gain. From questionable reimbursements to having his staff coordinate so-called official travel that just so happened to coincide with political gatherings. Article 2 illustrates the methods in which this governor committed theft by creating a false impression as to the public purpose and true intentions of his official travel and reimbursements.
4 counts of theft of public funds are listed in Article 2, and the governor's defense addressed none of them. Ms. Glenna Palacios, the former policy advisor to the governor, attested to the purported multiple public purposes at multiple stops during one of the governor's first-class trips in April of 2018. But had the House prosecutors been allowed, we would have asked Ms. Palacios specifically about the governor's campaign rally in Oregon. The governor did not claim in his travel authorization that he was making an extra stop in Oregon in order to meet with CNMI constituents for the memorial service that Ms. Palacios described. What Governor Torres claimed in his TA instead was that he was going to meet with unnamed potential business partners in Oregon. What he actually did instead was attend a campaign rally.
Mr. Camacho stated that he was recently informed and that former Governor Juan N. Babalta had 2 official residences at the same time, whose utilities were being paid by the CNMI government. This statement from Gary Camacho amounts to nothing but gossip. He neither verified nor brought evidence to prove his statement. His testimony should therefore be stricken from the official Senate records as hearsay.
The senators continue to await for a communication back from the court. And on the other side of the legislature building, 2 witnesses are called to testify on the remaining articles of impeachment, and the defense presents their closing argument. The recusal of the Senate minority did not stop the impeachment trial to continue this morning. The governor's legal counsel, Anthony Uggan, called upon Ross Garber to testify on the invalidity of the legislative subpoena. Garber appeared virtually before the 4-member jury.
This issue has come up on the federal level, and our Department of Justice on the federal level has opined on it many, many times, and it has said repeatedly that the legislative branch can't do, because of this balance and separation of powers, the legislative branch can't subpoena the chief executive, and of course Congress can't subpoena the president, and the Department of Justice even said that they also can't subpoena their senior advisors, because those are alter ego of the chief executive.
And tackling on the article of impeachment on misuse of government resources, the defense called upon Joseph Lefoyfoy, who is the administrative officer of the Honolulu Medical Referral Office. Lefoyfoy testified on an occasion where Governor Torres purchased laptops and Bluetooth sets for his office.
As Mr. Lefoyfoy just testified, the laptops were purchased so that the medical referral staff could work remotely and better coordinate with offices on Saipan and across the West Coast that are all in different time zones. He also testified as to the Bluetooth headsets, which were purchased for the medical referrals drivers who transport CNMI patients making the stressful travel abroad for medical care to and from their appointments. The electronics that the House alleged were purchased by Governor Torres at a Best Buy for himself were actually purchases that were made for a public purpose and permitted by law.
With no prosecutor to cross-examine the witnesses or evidence, the defense then presented their closing argument before the Senate.
As lawmakers, you must all agree that everyone should have an utmost respect for the law and the legislative process, regardless of political party. And as gatekeepers of the impeachment process, a vote against the articles of impeachment today sends the proper message to the entire Commonwealth that if the House is ever going to try and undo the will of 62% of our people, then it must do so in strict compliance with the law.
This historic impeachment trial is the first one ever for the CNMI books, and there are still many questions. What will be the result of a trial that has no prosecutor and no House records? What happens now with 5 senators recusing themselves from the impeachment proceedings? And what will this trial represent and mean for the CNMI? Day 3 of the Senate impeachment trial is scheduled for Wednesday, May 18, 1:30 p.m. at the Senate chamber. A Saipan woman is arrested and charged with child abuse. 39-year-old Roselle Azuzu Imperial is being charged with child abuse, assault and battery, and domestic violence. The court imposed a $20,000 bail on Imperial, who was later released to a third-party custodian. Imperial is ordered not to have any contact with the victim. Officials say the abuse happened over missing money and involved hitting, biting, and scratching. A family member informed her school of the situation, and school officials additionally informed officers that the victim would miss school for a long period of time. A preliminary hearing has been scheduled for May 20. A small fishing boat sank this weekend. DPS officials rescued the operator and the vessel. There were actually 2 distressed vessels on Saturday. One was towed in above water and one was towed in below. On Saturday, May 14th, the DPS Boating Safety Section responded to a capsized vessel located south of the military pre-positioned ships, just near the CK Reef. The operator says they were fishing near the area, and the waves were coming from where the back of his vessel was facing. He says the back of his vessel was too heavy from his fishing gear and other equipment, and it was pushed down. Water started to fill up his vessel quickly. The operator says he ran to the front of the vessel as it began to flip slowly. Officers were able to tow the overturned vessel towards the Smiling Cove Marina, and the operator did not need medical attention. Police Week kicked off with a special debut of their newly renovated canine office.
3. Ladies and gentlemen, the Canine Kennel Centric Mural.
The CNMI Department of Public Safety unveiled their newly renovated canine facility this afternoon. The facility shelters 9 dogs and is equipped with cages and a shower room. DPS chief says inmates from the Department of Corrections assisted with the fix-up of the place, and the governor's office funded the project.
These facilities were renovated by the inmates, so no labor costs were actually incurred by these. It's all basically just materials that we have to procure with the support of Secretary of Finance and again the governor for giving the support that we need whenever we need these materials.
The canine unit consists of officers from DPS, ports, and customs. There are currently 9 attack dogs who have also been specially trained for drug enforcement activities. DPS chief states at least 1 dog will now be on shift with the officers.
It's easier for us to apprehend suspects. God forbid if the dogs we have to let the dogs go to chase down the suspect. Because by virtue of it being a tag dog, they're there to attack and take down the suspect. And of course, they're also tracking dogs. If we're tracking a suspect or an inmate escapes, we can now have the capability of tracking it.
The dogs are originally from Florida, and they were all personally selected by CNMI officers. Guerrero says the dogs cost at least $15,000 to $20,000 each. Next week, the dogs will undergo more training with a specialist from Florida. All right, coming up, travel talks with an airline CEO. Stay tuned.
I have a phone. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on phone. Get live TV on your phone or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your Link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi. Ooh, TV on phone.
Half a day, CNMI. Did you know that car crashes are the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 13? In order to keep your children safe during a car crash, make sure you select the right type of car seat for their age and size. A rear-facing car seat should be used from birth to 12 months or up to 3 years old. Forward-facing car seats are for children from 1 to 3 or up to 7 years old. Booster seats are for children from 4 to 7 or up to 12 years old. Seat belts are for children 8 to 12 years old or older. For a seat belt to fit properly, the lap belt must lie snugly across the upper thighs, not the stomach. The shoulder belt should lie snugly across the shoulder and chest and not across the neck or face. Do not move your child to the next car seat level until he or she reaches the top height and weight limit allowed by your car seat's manufacturer. Remember, your children are the most precious cargo when driving. Keep us safe and buckle us in. We depend on you. Thank you.
Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They're an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The head of one of the CNMI's major air carriers was on island on Friday and spent the afternoon with the Marianas Visitors Authority. Our Chris Nelson has more.
Ibe Kim is a graduate of Seoul National University and previously held a position as Senior Managing Director with Asiana Airlines. Kim says that travel demand remains soft and that there's currently an oversupply of seats in the market to Saipan, resulting in low airfares. Low fares, weak demand, and high fuel costs are not an ideal mix for airlines. 5 carriers are currently flying twice a week. Their schedules are almost identical, due in large part to airport guidelines that were put in place to minimize airport hours and staffing in Incheon. Jeju is currently using 30 of their 38 aircraft. Just 3 years ago, Jeju was the NMI's biggest airplane seat supplier, with multiple daily flights coming in from Korea. Kim says that he anticipates there will be less carriers flying into the NMI once travel restrictions are lifted and carriers begin to shift their fleet around Asia. Currently, the NMI has a subsidy scheme in place to encourage airlift from Korea and is working on a similar scheme for Japan. Government of Korea has announced the easing of travel restrictions beginning later this month. Koreans will no longer need a PCR test to return to Korea. They will still need an antigen test, but these are less costly and easier to obtain than the PCR. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
The Pacific Mini Games are just over a month away. Triathlon will be held on the beautiful island of Rota, and though the athletes will fly there, once on island, they will be under their own power with a swim, a bike, and a run. Our Chris Nelson has the story.
My name is Leo Ateliguanya. I'm here with the CNMI triathlon team.
Leo was born and raised on Saipan. He previously worked as a lifeguard out on Managaha Island and has brought his welcome smile to the new sport he has grown to love. Leo's making a comeback of sorts. He competed previously in the 1999 Pacific Games in track.
For me, it's not about just competing. It's about, representing your island and just be humble of where you come from. That's the reason why I'm here. I'm humble where I'm from, and I'm proud to represent the CNMI on these mini games.
Triathlon will be held on the island of Rota. It will be one of the most picturesque venues of all the sports. Leo's getting fit, getting stronger, and working hard in the water.
That's the first thing we gotta do when you do triathlon, is the swim portion. So once you get the swim down, then it's a lot more easier. Biking and running, I can handle pretty much. It's the swimming part that's hard for me.
A good goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot.
My goal in Pacific Games is just to show the local people that we can still do it. We can represent the islands, and I want to bring the sport and to represent CNMI on the upcoming triathlon, wherever it may be, either it's locally or off island.
Triathlon starts with an open water swim in Rota Harbor, then a quick transition to the bike and another transition to the run. Triathletes say swim like you're going to drown, ride like you stole it, and run like somebody's chasing you.
And don't give up. That's the main thing. Never give up on the sports that you love. You get there.
And you don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're done.
It's very exciting. I'm happy to compete. It's going to be awesome.
All right, folks, don't go nowhere. We have more sports up next.
I have a tablet. I have no TV. Ooh, TV on Tab. Get live TV on your tablet or any device with DTV Plus from Docomo Pacific. Watch live channels or stream from your favorite apps on any device, all from your home Wi-Fi. No cable lines, no hassle, more savings. All for only $35 a month with your link bundle. DTV Plus, your cable TV on Wi-Fi. Ooh, TV on Tab.
It's okay to take a friend or parent's medication. It came from a doctor, right?
Using someone's prescription is really risky. Taking any drugs for which you have not been medically screened is not only dangerous, but taking an opioid that was not prescribed for you is also illegal. Never borrow and never share prescribed medication. Your life and your loved one's life could depend on it. Talk to your doctor about prescribed opioids. Never mix with alcohol, and remember, never borrow, never share. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
Young soccer players head to the training center in Coblerville for the grassroots tournament. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
Good hustle, good hustle. Come back, love, come back.
Not in
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goats Gym, and today we're going to go over the cable lat pull down. Now what we want to remember with machine-based exercises, there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. There's multiple ways of executing the exercise. What you'll often see is lifters executing the exercise in this fashion, and instead of working the muscles of your upper back, you're just irritating the shoulder joint, which is what you don't want. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. Let's sit upright a little bit more. Okay, as you get a full stretch, bring it down with your elbows coming in. So in general, as you set up this way, you're going to be feeling majority of the impulse right here, which is your lats. Okay. He's getting a full stretch and he's getting a full squeeze in the bottom.
And for the KSPN weather report, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east wind around 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with isolated showers, east wind around 9 miles per hour. High 88, low 75, a humidity of 75%. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east wind 8 to 13 miles per hour. High 88, low 75. Marine forecast, gentle to occasionally moderate trade winds and combined seas between 3 and 5 feet will continue through the middle of the week. East wind 5 to 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less, east swell 3 feet. The sunrise will be at 5:48 a.m. High tide at 8:46 p.m. The low tide 1:58 p.m. and the sunset will be at 6:38 p.m. And there you have it. That is your Monday edition of the news, sports, and weather. Thank you so much for watching the Channel 2 News. We hope that you have a good night, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.